What's going on, everybody? This is Coach Phil with Coach Phil Reacts, and we are back with another video. So today's video is going to be a little different. As we always say, we try new things on the channel. We're going to talk about Urban Meyer getting fired today, early this morning, and I'm going to give you my perspective about. I've heard everybody from Get Up, Undisputed. I'm going to probably hear First Takes Opinion, NFL to NFL stuff on NFL Network before the game today and all that. I just want to throw my little 2 cents in here on Urban Meyer and why it didn't work out with him in Jacksonville, and just give a little back history of why I think the Jacksonville Jaguars need to go in a very different direction with this next hire with Shad Khan as the owner. So let's just kind of break down where Jacksonville's stats are as far as this season. So this season they were 2-11. Got 2 wins already this season. Points scored, they're 31st in the league. 180 points scored, 31st, which is terrible. Points allowed, 27. They're in 27th with 340. Overall grade, they're 31st overall, 30th in offense, 29th in defense, 27th in special teams. That's absolutely god-awful terrible, but you got to think about it. They're a young team. They got a young quarterback who's the franchise, and Trevor Lawrence. They got Travis Etienne Jr. coming back, which is hopefully going to be next season from the foot injury that they had, which is going to be a good weapon, the good Clemson 1-2 punch they had. They also got James Robinson, who I don't know why he's not playing. I understand it's because from what they claim is he had fumbling issues, but that's not a reason why to bench a guy, especially when you know the backups are not going to get the job done. Sound like the Seahawks. Anyway, when you also got their last game that they had with Urban Meyer at the helm, they lost 20-0 against the Tennessee Titans. Now, here's my opinion about Urban Meyer. I don't dislike Urban Meyer. I think a lot of the things that he does, he lets everybody else be the scapegoat for what he does. And what I mean by that is, even in Florida, we know what happened with him in Florida. He had Tim Tebow, Chris Leak, Percy Harvin, Aaron Hernandez, all these, the Pouncey boys. It was the inmates running the asylum. But then you also had him when he went to Ohio State, and he had a lot of dirt under him, and he left there. So Urban likes to set the fire and then run away. Yes, you can win. Winning covers up a lot of issues, but a lot of times it comes back to haunt you. So let's also look at his time in Jacksonville, what he's done. He's berated players. He's questioned a lot of the coaches that he has on his staff, which is funny because you hired these jokers. You hired a guy who was racist against black people as a strength and conditioning coach when you already knew at Ohio State he had issues there too. So why would you even hire this man? You brought in Tim Tebow, who should have just let him run Wildcat or run some type of formation like Taysom Hill, but you didn't. And also, you had the indiscretion with the whole thing with the female dancing on your lap when you don't even go back with the team after the game and fly back. That to me is the ultimate sin. And I played under a lot of coaches in my lifetime, whether it was basketball, football, and I've had a lot of hardline coaches, and I'm grateful for them coaches. Like I didn't personally. I was having this conversation with my mother the other day, and a lot of times with these old school hardline coaches, they're not willing to change till it's too late. And I'm grateful for all my coaches I've had over the years. I'm very, very grateful because it made me the man, the father, the coach that I am. And it's kind of funny. Side note, my son, he plays basketball. He trains. And the owner of the training facility is one of my old coaches. And we were talking last Wednesday, and he was talking to my son. He was making a little joke, whatever, saying, you know why your son buys you all these Gatorades and Powerades? My son says, why? He says, because we didn't let him have water when he was playing. And we laughed about it. We joked about it. He says, and you know what? I never thought I would hear this a day in my life from one of my former coaches. Ever. Sip of coffee real quick. Good ass coffee this morning, y'all. He said to me, you know what, Phil? We were just mean to y'all. We were just straight up mean. And I fell out laughing because it's true. My coaches back then were mean, but it was a method to the madness. They also had a little bit of humility. They would crack jokes. They had that other side of them. That's what made them good coaches. Now with Urban Meyer, I don't think Urban Meyer has a joking bone in his body. From the reports and all the stories that I've heard from other players when they played under him, it was the inmates running the asylum. There's a way to do things as a coach, and there's ways not to do things. Sometimes you gotta adjust with the times. Sometimes you have to be willing to change with the way the culture's going. And even looking at the history of Jacksonville Jaguar coaches going all the way from the beginning, let's just look at the success rate that they've had. I can go back this far. I've seen a lot of Jacksonville games over my lifetime. Tom Coughlin, 95-02, got the 2 AFC championships. He kind of built the culture of what Jacksonville is. For better or worse, you can say what you want to about Tom Coughlin. Yeah, he had success in New York, but he also had success before that with Jacksonville, getting the 2 AFC championship games. Jack Del Rio got to a couple AFC divisional games. He had success, but he also was a hard ass. Mike Mularkey, kind of don't really know much about Mike Mularkey, but he was Mularkey. Gus Bradley, after we got to the NFC divisional round with the Seahawks, he bolts and leaves and heads for Jacksonville, which was fine because then we got Dan Quinn in the situation, won the Super Bowl, threw a slant on the goal line, all that job. You know how I feel about that. He was terrible. He was like 2-14, back-to-back seasons. Doug Marrone, from 16 to 20. Got to an AFC championship game, blew it, and then gave all that money to their quarterback. Then he didn't know how to manage the team, let Jalen Ramsey go, didn't want to pay the defense, which was out of his hands. He tried the best. I'll give credit where credit is due, but he let Leonard Fournette go. He let a lot of guys that he should have kept around go. And then you bring in Urban freaking Meyer. Now, when I heard about Urban Meyer originally being in the running for the job, I said that's the stupidest thing you could ever do. Why would you do that? Why would you bring Urban Meyer out of all the people in here? And I understand he has that whole Florida connection and whatnot, but this is the NFL. This is grown men. Grown men have things to... Coaching grown men is different from coaching young 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds. And I've been on that side. I've been on the side where you coach young guys where it works one way, and then you can kind of put your foot in their ass with the older men. And you got to learn to find that healthy balance. I don't think Urban Meyer found that healthy balance. As a coach, we are supposed to be builders of men. I don't think Urban Meyer knows how to build men. I don't think he knows how to build character. I think the culture that he's tried to build still is from Florida, because he got away with a lot in Florida. If you look at Nick Saban's culture has been the same. You gotta have poise, you gotta have dignity, you gotta win, you gotta be humble when you win, you gotta be humble when you lose. It's not too high, not too low. Nick Saban knows how to control his environment. Urban Meyer does not know how to control the environment. He doesn't know how to be a leader of men, because if you're gonna be a leader of men, you have to walk a certain way, you gotta talk a certain way, you have to carry yourself a certain way. Urban doesn't do that. Urban always finds a way to get out of things. Like I said, he'll set the fire, and then he'll run and claim somebody else did it. He never owns up to his mistakes. Now, he tried to, but it sounded like a classic fake-ass apology. Now, where does Jacksonville go from here? I'm a firm believer they need to go get Byron Leftwich. I think they need to go get Vance Joseph. I think they need to give a couple brothers a chance. Now, I'm not about to get into this whole race thing right now, because that's a totally different subject for another day. I have another video that I did about African American coaches way in the beginning of my YouTube journey, and if you want to check that out, please check that out. I really appreciate that, because it goes more into detail about where history has been with African American coaches and where we're headed as far as giving brothers a chance. I think we need to get a guy in there who is a little younger, not too young, but a guy in his 40s, mid-40s, who understands today's players. They need to get a guy who is about establishing a strong culture, a guy who's not going to get the shaft after 1 year, because there's promise there. They have something there in Jacksonville. They just have to, I guess you could say, unleash it. They have to unlock the box and figure out which direction we're going to go, and I don't think Urban had the key to that. So Where do you guys think Jacksonville's going to be headed in the next couple of years, and what they're going to do actually at the end of the season? Who are they going to go get? Comment down below who you think they need to go get as a coach, whether it's college or if it's in the NFL realm. We're going to talk about this a little bit more down the road, and we'll see what happens with that. So next time, keep your head on a swivel, be smart out here in these streets, and keep working hard, and we out of here.
Nigga, why you sign Jamie Foxx?
Is this the comedy album?
Didn't Eddie Murphy try that?